Hey beauties, good afternoon to you. Beautiful people. So, I'm watching I follow the Country Wayne's skits, because he tries to bring reality and comedy in one. You know, and there is a little storyline that's going on. A lot of it involves cheating, but there's a particular one. And we have heard of this before. It is a phenomenon I'm never able to fathom. I'm never able to understand how it is that, and I'm going to speak from the female's perspective. I can't just imagine from the males, even males as well. How is it that you say this person is your best friend, sometimes from your eyes are at your knees, from day one, you do almost everything together, and then you end up sleeping with your best friend's husband. The man go out and he sleeps with his best friend's wife. I can never ever fathom that phenomenon. And in life, sometimes I'm going to say this to you beautiful people, I'm going to have a very deep, not just real but deep conversation with you. The damaging effects that you would have created and started are sometimes for a lifetime. They're sometimes, and not in all cases, for a lifetime. Like the damage that is done, it is for a lifetime. And I can understand why in a lot of the cases, God's chastisement or punishment towards the guilty, the culpable parties, are great and grave, because the damages, it's like a rippling effect. It affects external people drastically. And if divorce gets involved, oh my goodness, I can never ever understand the phenomenon. Never. I mean, who am I to judge as a mere mortal? But my personal belief in life, there are just some things that you do not do. I mean, committing adultery is definitely wrong in and of itself, whether it is to a best friend or I cannot, but there's just certain, when it goes into the realm of cheating with your best friend's partner or a family member's partner, I think that curse that you're definitely signing up for is one that you definitely cannot manage, and it will definitely come at an inopportune time. You cannot deal with it. For the best friend, for the man who sleeps, for example, with his best friend's wife, be prepared for any form of repercussions after that. You cannot be surprised. You cannot act surprised. You can't say, boy, it's only because of the lust of the flesh. Self-control is something that we need to make great. Self-control. One of the reasons why David one off, there are many other reasons, but this particular reason I'm going to speak on. Remember, there is a scripture and people use it to think that his sexuality was off, meaning he was not heterosexual, that he was the other way, and he was full-blown hetero. But people don't understand that you not because even though you're heterosexual doesn't mean that you don't love your male friend. God didn't put us on the earth to only love the opposite sex. We love the same sex in a healthy platonic way. People have done what they choose to do. I'm not going to get into that. And David said, I love my friend Jonathan more than that of women. People took it and thought he meant something very erotic. And no, he did not. What he said is that I am not going to sleep with my friend's wife. I'm not going to sleep with my friend's girlfriend. I'm not going to sleep with my friend's fiance. Any woman that he's involved with, I'm not going to get in. That's what he's really saying. So you have to understand the old English and what they're really trying to say based on their speech. That's what David really ultimately is saying. And he's not going to put a woman above their friendship. Albeit it's not his, and notwithstanding, we're not talking about his wife and, children and so on. We're talking like, if them know them, that David was a womanizer. Maybe Jonathan was similar. The Bible didn't speak a lot about his own weaknesses or infractions that he may have committed. He was Saul's son. And them in the back in the day, when the Bible talked about Saul's wives and concubines, I think, or and so forth. So, and obviously we know that Jonathan more than likely was married because he had the son Mephibosheth, and who got crippled. Remember when the nurse was running, and so on, and he dropped the child. No, I'm saying, beautiful people, there are certain things that you don't do. You don't cross certain lines. It's like once you go over that boundary line, it's at the point of no return. You can't return. You can't even take it back. Yes, there is forgiveness. Yes, I believe in forgiveness, because there are people who have forgiven people who have done even worse things. The pastor man who had owned an orphanage somewhere is in Africa. He forgave and adopted the man who killed his son in cold blood in front of him. Transformed that boy's life, and that boy became a pastor too, yeah. So forgiveness is key. And that's a very unusual situation. Another lady forgave the guy who accidentally, though, he killed her son. Not in that one, like the similar that the pastor, it was cold blood in front of him. And basically adopted him as a son in a sense. And they go around and they speak against violence in schools and otherwise. The curse that will come upon you, best friend, the best friend that sleeps with your friend's husband, or for the man you sleep with your friend's wife, it is so gigantic, it is so humongous, it is so grandiose and great that you will not be able to really comprehend it. I don't think you fathom the devastation you cause, not just the immediate people involved, and not just your best friend and the husband or the wife, as the case may, and the other husband. I'm talking in a heterosexual sense, but we're talking as it relates to children, parents, friends, other people, how it affects them psychologically and mentally. Some people have even gone off their rockers because it's like their mind cannot comprehend what has happened to them, that their own best friend that they've confided in did that. Their own best friend. I don't think people understand the level of betrayal. I don't think people understand the level. The only person that probably understood that really is Jesus. With Judas, even though this is a platonic situation, but we're talking about having somebody deep in your corner and betraying you greatly like that. Your best friend's spouse must be unattractive to you. I don't care if he's attractive for the woman, if he's attractive physically and a nice man, and as you guys like to say. I don't care if the wife of the man is beautiful like Bathsheba. He's your best friend's wife. And I remember reading in the book of Proverbs that for the man, it's like the Bible, I'm paraphrasing, there's nothing that can cool that man's temper, that anger, when you sleep with his wife. You can't bribe him, you can't get the anger that enrages him. Because it's almost like an ultimate, it's in the top 3 betrayals. Why? And you there's so many other people out there. We don't encourage you going out and cheat. But why choose your best friend's spouse? Knowing that must be the enemy trying to set you up to create factions and dissensions and strife, malice, unforgiveness, bitterness, hate and anger and murder, unfortunately. Why would you do that? Why would you not tell yourself, I respect my friend? That's why Joseph was a good man too. Because Potiphar wasn't his best friend, but he worked for him, and Potiphar gave him promoted him, gave him a good position, treated him with respect and honor, left him in the care of his own wife because he realized the integrity of him as a man. But he's not female, Remember, them have all men as dogs. And he entrusted him. And it's like Joseph said, people probably think that the wife probably was an ugly woman. I doubt it. And the Bible says she pursued him day in, day out. And when he realized, you know what? Instead of me caving, I better run. I better take up them 2 hands and 2 foot and run. And his coat fell off and she told a lie on him. But God vindicated him. You don't have to worry about that. There are off limits to you. That's a boundary line that you do not cross. When it says caution, you'll get shocked and burned to death. Treat it like that. Do not go to your best friend's spouse. It's an abomination. Guys, follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel.